Hi there! Today I would like to show you how I crochet this beautiful skull scarf with roses and leaves attached to it. I use Super Saver yarn from Red Heart, a white one, a green one and a red one. You will also need a scissor, a tapestry needle and a crochet hook. I used a 6.5mm hook. You start off with a slip knot and chain 14. You now join to a circle, slip stitch into the first chain, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through all. This is one of the eyes of the skull. To make the second one, you chain 14 again. When you finish your 14th chain, you insert a hook in the first of these 14 chains and make a slip knot again. You will then have the two eyes of your skull. To make the eyes a little more stable and a little thicker, you single crochet around them 18 times. You insert your hook into the ring, yarn over and pull through 2. Repeat this 18 times. Repeat these 18 single crochets for the second eye. Single crochet into the next 7 stitches. We will not chain 1, we will just turn our work around and start single crochet in the next row, 14 single crochets across. After 14 single crochets, we turn our work, skip the first stitch and work 12 single crochets across. You skip the first one and the last stitch. By the end of the row and skipping the last stitch, we turn our work and work 10 single crochets across. Again, you skip the first stitch and the last stitch. Turn your work and single crochet 8 across. You skip the first stitch and the last stitch again. After you turned your work, you will now single crochet 8 across using every single stitch. You can now fasten off here. I usually chain 1 and cut the yarn. To work the bottom of the skull, the nose and the teeth, we're gonna turn the skull upside down And now try to find the center under the eyes. And then count 7 stitches right to join the yarn in that stitch. Attach the yarn, chain 1, and single crochet in the same stitch as you joined, and single crochet in the 3 next stitches. Then chain 4 and skip the next 6 stitches. Insert your hook in the 7th stitch and single crochet. Single crochet 3 more. Chain 1, turn your work, and work 12 single crochets across. It's a little tricky right there, but I'm sure you will work it through. You turn your work and we do not chain 1. We skip the first stitch and slip stitch into the next 3 stitches. Now you chain 4, which counts as your first triple crochet. We need 6 triple crochets in total, so you will work 5 triple crochets, which is yarn over twice. Insert your hook in the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 again, and yarn over, pull through 2. Again, yarn over twice, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. When you got your last triple crochet, you chain 1 and turn your work. Now you have 6 of these little poles, which is your mouth and your teeth. You single crochet 6 across. You chain 1, turn your work, and work these 6 single crochets across again. Now we will work all around the skull to make the skull edges look very beautiful. What we will do is in the edges, in the corners I mean, we will work 2 single crochets right here. 1 and 2. So we now make our way to the forehead, and on this stitch here I'll work 2 single crochets in it to make it look more edgier. Now we're coming to the part where we ended the forehead, and this piece of yarn, I just put it to the side, like down to the forehead, and try to work it in my stitches. You can also weave it in later, just how you like it, as it is very convenient right here. I just work it in with my stitches. I'm sorry. So now we're coming to the end. This outer pole, I usually work 5 or 6 single crochets in it. And then into the last stitch. There we go, last stitch. I'll work a single crochet. Now you can weave in the loose ends. The part around in the middle of the eyes, you can wrap this piece of yarn around it a couple of times and then weave in the loose ends. We did not fasten off the whole project yet because we're going to attach a little part so we can sew the leaves and the rose on it later. But for the scarf, you will need 2 pieces just like this, so you can fasten off here and make another one. For the scarf in total, you will need 8 of these skull heads. Here I show you how it's gonna look like, one of the ends, and in the middle the rose. So this little part in between the head of the second skull and the mouth part of the other skull, I'm going to show you how to attach this now. So you came around, now we single crochet across the bottom, 7 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn your work, and work these 7 single crochets across again. 5 more rows, so in total you have 6 of these rows. You can now fasten off. Now I show you how to attach these two together. You use a tapestry needle, and with a few stitches you attach them together. Fasten off with a knot and weave the end in. Now I show you how I crochet the rows. We start with slip knots and chain 30. You will need 7 of these roses for the whole scarf. We now single crochet into the second stitch from the hook. We then chain 2. We then skip exactly this stitch, we skip it and single crochet in the next stitch. And chain 2, skip the next stitch and single crochet, skip chain 2. We now follow this pattern all the way to the end. We turn our work and we'll now work into the spaces we created. We start off with 3 single crochets into the first space. We end this row with a chain 1 and we turn. We'll now work into the spaces we created, a slip knot, a chain 1 and 3 half double crochets into this first space. A chain 1 and a slip stitch into this space. Same thing into the next space. Slip stitch, chain 1 and 3 half double crochets. Chain 1 and a slip stitch. We do the same for the third space. Slip stitch, chain 1 and 3 half double crochets. Chain 1 and a slip stitch into the space. Slip stitch into the next space, chain 1 and work now 4 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3 and 4, chain 1 and slip stitch. Slip stitch into the next space, chain 1 and work 5 half double crochets into this space. chain 1 and slip stitch, slip stitch into the next space, chain 1 and work 4 half double crochets, chain 1 and slip stitch into the space, slip stitch into the next space, chain 1 and work 5 half double crochets into this space, chain 1, slip stitch into the space, slip stitch into the next, chain 1 and work 4 half double crochets into this space, chain 1 and slip stitch. Repeat now exactly this pattern. 4 half double crochets, 5 half double crochets, repeating this until the end. After the last slip stitch, we chain 1, and you can now see what we created. And even though it doesn't look like a rose yet, we're gonna work it together so it's gonna look like a rose. We now put the rose petals we just created together. The center, you can see how I'm building it in right now. The center, you start with the skinny petals, the ones we started off with 3 half double crochets. So you can see how I folded it together. Now you use your tapestry needle to try to secure the first and the third row. Depends on how close you put them together, but usually they're going to be 3 rows. I secure the rows with some knots and cut off the ends. We now work on our leaves. I use 2 strings of the green yarn to make the leaves a little stronger. Start off with a slip knot and chain 9. Single crochet into the first stitch from the hook, then half double crochet into the next one, then double crochet into the next one, triple crochet to the following one, yarn over twice, put your hook through, yarn over pull through, yarn over pull through 2, and yarn over pull through 2 again, and yarn over and pull through 2 again, followed by a double crochet, Next, a double crochet, and a single crochet, and the last stitch will be a slip stitch. We now turn and work, well, we don't really turn, we just work around and single crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next, double crochet in the following, triple crochet into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet, double crochet, followed by a half double crochet if the yarn want to pull through finally. Alright, half double crochet, and a double crochet, and into the tip and top right there, work a slip stitch and a chain one. That will make the top look really nice. You're not fast enough? Cut the yarn, leave a little bit of a rest so we can weave it in. Let's weave the yarn in with a few stitches. Now you can cut off the remaining yarn and you made your leaf, one of the leaves. For the whole scarf you will need 21 of these, but for one rose you will need 3 of the leaves, and I'll show you now how to put them all together. How to secure them and how to secure them in between the skulls. I sew with a green piece of yarn the leaves onto the rose. Just with a few stitches, and just on the outer layer from the rose, not all the way to the top and into the center, because you don't want to see the green yarn there. Repeat this with the other 2 leaves. And secure the ends with a knot or 2. Cut the rest of the yarn, because for sewing it onto the skull you will use a white yarn. Place your rose in the middle of the 2 skulls, the skulls you already combined. And sew through the back side the rose onto your part of your scarf. As you can see here, I go up to the second row of the rows, but it always depends how the rows came out. So sometimes I even just sew the leaves on, so you will not see the white yarn you're using. Just with a few stitches, secure it until you have the feeling the rose sits there very strong and won't fall off. Secure the white yarn with a knot, or with a couple of knots. You can now sew the ends in if you want to, or you just cut it. And there you go. As I said, you need 8 skull heads in total. You put them together, 4 of them in the same direction, just like so. And the 4th and the 5th head, you combine them on the forehead. This way, when you wrap the scarf around your neck, you have this beautiful pattern and both skull heads look into the same direction and are not upside down. I hope you enjoyed my video tutorial, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching!